afternoon students, welcome to video lectures on chemistry. So in last class we discussed about colligative properties. So what are colligative properties? So those properties which depends on number of solute particles but not depends on nature, that properties are known as colligative properties. For dilute solutions there are colligative properties. So there are four colligative properties. First one is first one is relating lowering of vapor pressure, and the second one is elevation in boiling point, and the third one is depression in freezing point, and the fourth one is osmotic pressure. So these are the four colligative properties. All these properties only depends on number of moles of solute particle present in the solution but not depends on nature of the solute. So the properties which depends on only number of moles of solute but not depends on only depends on number of moles of solute but not depends on nature. These properties are nothing but colligative properties. So first of all we discussed about RLVP. So first one is RLVP, relating lowering of vapor pressure. So first of all, what is vapor pressure? So what is vapor pressure? If suppose this is a solution, now this substance, so this is the substance present at the surface. So this surface developed a pressure with atmosphere. That pressure is known as vapor pressure. Please wait. So that pressure is known as vapor pressure. So therefore the pressure developed by the substance at the surface of a liquid with atmosphere, that is known as vapor pressure. Now if it is a pure solvent, this is taken as P naught, that is vapor pressure of pure solvent. Now when a non-volatile solute is added, so this is a non-volatile solute, if it is added to the pure solvent, then the solution vapor pressure PS, it is decreases. So that decrease in vapor pressure, that decrease in vapor pressure is known as lowering of vapor pressure. Therefore lowering of vapor pressure is equal to, so this is large compared to PS, therefore the decrease from P naught, that is PS. So this is known as lowering of vapor pressure. Now relating lowering of vapor pressure is given by RLVP. This is equal to P naught minus PS by P naught. So this is known as relating lowering of vapor pressure of a dilute solution, and this is colligative property. That means it is directly proportional to number of moles of solute, and it is explained by using Raoult's law. So according to Raoult's law, so what is Raoult's law statement? So according to Raoult's law, the relating lowering of vapor pressure of a dilute solution, so this is P naught minus PS by P naught, the relating lowering of vapor pressure of a dilute solution is always equal to mole fraction of the solute, that is X2, where X2 is nothing but mole fraction of the solute. Also X2 value is given by number of moles of solute divided by total number of moles of solute plus solvent. So X2 is equal to N divided by N plus capital N. Capital N represents number of moles of solute. small n represent number of moles of, this is for solute, and capital N for solvent. Therefore, P naught minus Ps divided by P naught, this is equal to N divided by N plus capital N. So this is a Raoult's law. Now derivation for Raoult's law. So how it is equal to N by N plus capital N? So derivation. Right. So this is a dilute solution. So what does this mean? The number of moles of solute small n, it is very less compared to capital N. Therefore, in our solution we have only solvent, but solute is very small because it is a dilute solution. If suppose it is an ideal solution, and also the vapor pressure of the solute, is very less. Why it is very less? Because here our solute is a non-volatile solute, so it does not volatile. It means there is no vapor pressure. It is having very small vapor pressure, and it is neglected when compared to vapor pressure of the solvent. Therefore, if the solution is an ideal solution, and hence the vapor pressure of the solute is very less compared to solvent. Therefore, solvent pressure, vapor pressure is very high compared to solute, and hence within this solution, so in this solution the pressure of that solvent is exactly equal to pressure of solution. So that means vapor pressure of solvent is equal to vapor pressure of solution, because solution contains both solvent and solute, but the vapor pressure of solvent is very high compared to solute, and hence it is neglected compared to this one. Therefore, the total vapor pressure of solution is equal to vapor pressure of the solvent. And now also Raoult's law is stated in terms of, so one more definition for Raoult's law. Another definition for Raoult's law is the vapor pressure of a solvent in a ideal solution is always equal to the product of the mole fraction of that solvent into vapor pressure of the pure solvent. So here there are three terms. One is P. So P is nothing but vapor pressure of a component, whether it is solvent or solute. So if it is a solvent, then the vapor pressure of the solvent in a solution, if it is ideal solution, then its vapor pressure is equal to the mole fraction of the solvent into vapor pressure of the pure solvent. So that is P naught. Therefore, where P is nothing but vapor pressure of solvent in a solution, vapor pressure of solvent in a solution, that is equal to product of x1, that is mole fraction of solvent, and P naught. P naught is nothing but vapor pressure of pure solvent. So before addition to non-volatile solute, so what is the vapor pressure of a pure solvent? So that is nothing but P naught, where P naught is known as vapor pressure of pure solvent. Therefore, from this equation, P is equal to x1 into P naught. So what is x1? x1 is the mole fraction of solvent. Also we know that. What is the x1 plus x2 value? So x1 is the mole fraction of solvent, whereas x2 is mole fraction of the solute. So total value is always equal to 1. So from this equation, we want x1 value that is equal to 1 minus x2. So taken this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. So in equation 1, pressure of solvent is equal to x1 into P naught. In the case of equation 2, x1 value, that is mole fraction of the solvent, is equal to 1 minus x2. Therefore from 1 and 2. So from 1 and 2, equation 1 and 2. So look at that equation, P is equal to x1 into, so here x1 value is 1 minus x2 into P naught. So P is equal to x1 minus 1 minus x2 into P naught. So now, so 1 into P naught, that is P naught minus, so here, great. Right. Simply taking this term into left hand side, then it becomes P by P naught, that is equal to 1 minus x2, and therefore x2 is equal to, so taking this term into left hand side and this term into right hand side, then it becomes 1 minus P by P naught. This is equal to x2, that is equal to, so 1 into P naught, that is P naught minus P divided by P naught, that is equal to x2. So what is x2? x2 is nothing but mole fraction of the solute. So x1 is for solvent mole fraction, and hence x2, this is equal to mole fraction of a solute. So what is the mole fraction of solute? It is having n number of moles of solute, and the total number of moles is equal to n plus capital N. So this is x2, mole fraction of solute. Therefore in place of x2, it is n by n plus capital N is equal to P naught minus P divided by P naught. Right. So our solution is a dilute solution. It means the total number of moles of capital N, that is for solvent, it is large. N is very high compared to small n, and hence this term is neglected in a denominator. Therefore n by capital N is equal to P naught minus P divided by P naught. So this is Raoult's law. According to Raoult's law, relating lowering of vapor pressure. So here P naught minus P, what is P? P is nothing but vapor pressure of the solution. So this is simply taken as PS. So P naught minus PS by P naught, that is equal to n by n. So it is always equal to n. So that is nothing but mole fraction of the solute. Therefore from this equation, P naught minus PS by P naught, that is equal to RLVP, that is equal to n by capital N. Therefore RLVP is directly proportional to n. Relating lowering of vapor pressure is always directly proportional to n. So what is n? N is nothing but number of moles of solute. Therefore relating lowering of vapor pressure is directly proportional to number of moles of solute. Therefore it is a colligative property. So from the definition of colligative property, any property depends on n, that is nothing but number of moles of solute. If a property depends on n, then that property is known as colligative property. So in our derivation, finally we get RLVP, it is directly proportional to n. Therefore RLVP is a colligative property. So final conclusion, therefore it is a colligative property because it depends on number of moles of solute. So this is the conclusion. And finally from this equation, what is the value of small n? N is number of moles, that is given by weight of the solute divided by molecular weight of the solute. Similarly capital N, what is capital N? Weight of solvent divided by molecular weight of solvent, that is capital N is equal to W by M. Therefore, from this RLVP is equal to relating lowering of vapor pressure is equal to N divided by capital N, that is equal to, so here W by small m whole W by capital M. Therefore, simply this is written in terms of RLVP or P naught minus Ps divided by P naught. This is equal to, so small w into capital M divided by small m into capital W, where W, small w is weight of the solute, and small m is molecular weight of solute. Similarly, capital W, this is weight of solvent, and finally capital M, this is molecular weight of solvent. So from this equation we can derive small m value, that is molecular weight of the solute. Therefore, from this equation small m is equal to, so this value, this is equal to, so taking this term into right hand side and enter this term into left hand side. Therefore, you get small w into capital M divided by capital W into P naught minus Ps by P naught, that is simply RLVP. Therefore, according to relating lowering of vapor pressure, the molecular weight of a solute is to be determined, that is given by weight of solute into molecular weight of solvent divided by weight of solvent into RLVP, relating lowering of vapor pressure. So, this is colligative property and this is directly proportional to number of moles, but here molecular weight. So, molecular weight of solute is always inversely proportional to RLVP, that is relating lowering of vapor pressure. Therefore, final conclusion, therefore molecular weight of solute is always inversely proportional to colligative properties. So here colligative property is RLVP. Therefore, molecular weight of solute, so this is inversely proportional to RLVP. That is why final statement, molecular weight of a solute is always inversely proportional to colligative properties. Whereas RLVP is directly proportional to number of moles of solute and M is inversely proportional to RLVP. Now, simple applications from this question. So, these are, so taking 4 examples of 1 normal urea, 0.1 normal, or simply 1 normal NaCl, 1 normal barium chloride and 1 normal AlCl3. So there are 3 solutions are there, all are having same concentration, 1 normal, 1 normal, 1 1. But here urea, NaCl, barium chloride and AlCl3. Now my question is, which is having highest vapor pressure? Which is having highest RLVP or vapor pressure or relating lowering of vapor pressure? So, which is having highest vapor pressure? Relating lowering of vapor pressure is a colligative property. It depends on number of moles of solute. So, here solute is urea. In this case, second example, it is NaCl. This is barium chloride and finally AlCl3. So, RLVP always directly proportional to number of moles. So here how many number of moles are there? So urea, it is only unimolecular, but NaCl. So NaCl is a bimolecular, it is Na plus as well as Cl minus. Similarly, barium chloride. So in the case of barium chloride, it is Ba plus 2 and 2Cl minus. So totally there are 3 moles of ions, 1 mole of barium and 2 moles of chlorine. And in the case of fourth example, Al plus 3 and 3Cl minus. So total number of moles is equal to 4. Therefore, in our example, we have only 1 mole, here 2 moles, 3 moles as well as 4 moles. So here in the case of AlCl3, number of moles increases. Therefore, RLVP is directly proportional to N, but here it is equal to 4 number of moles. Therefore, it is having highest elevation, relating lowering of vapor pressure. So, which is having highest relating lowering of vapor pressure means it is 1 normal AlCl3. This is due to it is having high number of moles of solute. So, total number of moles is equal to 4. That is why it is having highest relating lowering of vapor pressure. If suppose in the case of second example, 1 normal NaCl, 0.1 normal NaCl, 0.01 normal NaCl, and finally 0.001 normal NaCl. So now again same question, which is having highest RLVP? Highest RLVP, relating lowering of vapor pressure. So here all these solutes are equal, NaCl, 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 NaCl. Therefore, now we consider the concentration, right? So initially, if it is having 0.001 normal NaCl, so that means there is very small amount of solute is there. Now, when an electrolyte, that is NaCl, is added, then its concentration is increases. So it is having high concentration means it is having more amount of solute. Therefore, from this is a D, option D, and this is C, and the B and A. So compared to D, C having highest amount of solute. And again, if you have add one more NaCl, amount of NaCl, then its concentration increases from 0.01 to 0. Therefore, this is having large number of moles of solute. And finally, it is 1 normal NaCl. So this is having high number of moles of solute compared to option B, C, D. Therefore, as the concentration increases, it means number of moles of the solute is also increases. So as the number of moles increases, relating lowering of vapor pressure is also increases. Therefore, highest relating lowering of vapor pressure solution is here 1 normal NaCl. Similarly, lowest. So lowest RLVP, which is having lowest RLVP? So this is very dilute solution. Here the number of moles of solute is very less compared to remaining options. Therefore, lowest relating lowering of vapor pressure solution is option D. So basing on the number of moles or basing on the concentration. So as the number of moles increases, colligative properties increases. Similarly here, as the concentration increases, relating lowering of vapor pressure is also increases. So from this example, we conclude that RLVP directly proportional to concentration of the solution. Concentration of the solution. So this is the conclusion. From first example, RLVP directly proportional to number of moles of the solute. So this is from first example. Now again consider one more example for 1 normal glucose, 1 normal sucrose, 1 normal fructose and one normal cellulose, right? So here all are carbohydrates, all are unimolecular, so all are does not dissociated into its ions, therefore all are having only 1 mole. So it is having 1 mole, 1 mole, 1 mole, 1 mole. So RLVP is directly proportional to number of moles, but all are having same moles. And according to first point, RLVP is directly proportional to concentration, but here in this example all are having same concentration. So number of moles is equal to 1 and also concentration is also equal to 1 normal. Therefore now what is the solution having highest vapor pressure? So which solution having highest RLVP? So according to RLVP definition and also molecular weight of this solute is always inversely proportional to colligative properties, that is here RLVP. That means if a solution having highest relative lowering of vapor pressure, then it is having smallest or lowest molecular weight. If the solution having highest molecular weight, then it is having lowest RLVP. So in our question, highest RLVP, so which solution having highest RLVP? So if it is having highest RLVP, it means it is having lowest molecular weight. So here all are carbohydrates in this glucose as well as fructose, both are having same chemical formula, therefore both are having small molecular weight, that is why both having, that is glucose as well as fructose, both are having highest RLVP. Glucose and fructose both are having highest RLVP. So this is the third condition. So from this condition we conclude that RLVP is inversely proportional to molecular weight of the solute. So these are the applications of colligative properties. So first colligative property is relating lowering of vapor pressure. So this is a colligative property, that means it is only depends on number of moles of solute present in the solution. So finally by using Raoult's law we can derive the relation between RLVP and number of moles. So RLVP is equal to small n by capital N, that is mole fraction of solute, therefore it is a colligative property. So from this equation we derived the molecular weight of solute. So that is given by molecular weight of solute is given by, so look at this, this is the molecular weight of solute, that is equal to small w into capital M by capital M into RLVP. So by knowing the value of RLVP we determine the molecular weight of the solute. So this is all about first colligative property. Now second one. So what is the second one? So second colligative property is elevation in boiling point. Elevation in boiling point. So what is the meaning of elevation? Elevation in this sense, increase in boiling point. So first of all, what is boiling point? Right. So what is boiling point? Boiling point is defined as the temperature at which a liquid is converted into vapor. So when it is converted into vapor, so liquid, it is converted into vapor. So at that temperature a liquid is converted into vapor is known as a boiling point, but this is only possible when the vapor pressure of the liquid, so that is the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the liquid is equal to vapor pressure of atmosphere. So at what temperature the vapor pressure of this liquid is equal to vapor pressure of atmosphere, then only this liquid is converted into atmosphere or vapor. So at that temperature a liquid is converted into vapor or atmospheric vapor pressure. So what is the atmospheric vapor pressure? That is equal to 1 atmosphere. This is the vapor pressure of atmosphere, or simply this is equal to 76 centimeters. 76 centimeters of Hg, or simply this is equal to 760 mm of Hg. So this is the vapor pressure of a atmosphere. Now the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the liquid is equal to 1 atmosphere, then that temperature is known as boiling point. Now consider a pure solvent. So this is a pure solvent. Right. So this is a pure solvent. So now the temperature at which the vapor pressure of this solvent, so this is vapor pressure of this solvent. Now this is equal to 1 atmosphere at a given temperature, then that temperature is nothing but boiling point of the pure solvent. Let T naught is the boiling point of pure solvent. Boiling point of pure solvent. Now when a non-volatile solute is added, so this one, so this is a non-volatile solute. So whenever non-volatile solute is added, then vapor pressure of this solution is decreases. Therefore the temperature at which the vapor pressure of solution is equal to 1 atmosphere is increases. It means if suppose if a pure solvent having 0.6 atmospheres pressure, now the temperature required to convert 0.6 into 1 atmosphere, thus is nothing but T naught, that is boiling point of pure solvent. If suppose that solvent having 0.6 atmosphere vapor pressure, then the temperature required to convert 0.6 into 1 atmosphere is known as boiling point of pure liquid. Now when a non-volatile solute is added, then its vapor pressure is decreases. If suppose it is decreased to 0.4 atmospheres from 0.6, so this is in the case of solvent. And now this is when a non-volatile solute is added to solvent, then it becomes a solution. Then solution having only 0.4 atmospheres. Now the temperature required to convert 0.4 to 1 atmosphere, that is nothing but boiling point of solution. Now which is more value? This is the temperature required to convert 0.6 into 1, whereas here Ts is the boiling point of solution, that is the temperature required to convert 0.4 to 1. So here the difference is 0.6. So high temperature is required to convert 0.4 to 1 atmosphere. So as the temperature increases, the vapor pressure of the solution is increases. That is why from 0.4 to 1, that is the difference is 0.6, it is only takes place by using high temperature value compared to T naught. Therefore when a non-volatile solute is added to a solvent, then the the boiling point of the solution is increases. That increase in boiling point is known as elevation in boiling point. Therefore when a non-volatile solute is added to a pure solvent, then vapor pressure of solution is decreases, and hence boiling point of the solution is increases. boiling point of the solution is increases. Therefore, T naught is the boiling point of solvent and Ts is the boiling point of solution. Then the elevation in boiling point, that is given by delta TB. So delta represents change, TB represents boiling point temperature. So what is the change in boiling point temperature? So that change is given by higher value minus lower value. So Ts, that is boiling point of solution minus boiling point of pure solvent. So this is known as elevation in boiling point. Again look at the diagram. So this is the one. If suppose pure water, so what is the boiling point of water? Boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade. That is T naught. So pure solvent. So what is pure solvent? It is having a boiling point 100 degrees centigrade. So that means at this temperature only the vapor pressure of water is equal to vapor pressure of atmosphere, that is 1 atmosphere or 76 centimeters or 760 millimeters. So at 100 degrees only water is converted into vapor. That is why 100 is the boiling point of water. Now, so in water, if suppose a sodium chloride, that is salt, or any sugar is added, then it becomes a solution. This is solvent. When a non-volatile solute, either sodium chloride or sugar particles are added, then it becomes solution, either NaCl solution or sugar particles or sugar solution. Now its boiling point is greater than 100. So definitely boiling point is always greater than 100 degrees, because so here both NaCl and sugar both are non-volatile. So when a non-volatile sugar or salt particle is added to the water, then its vapor pressure is decreases. Now the temperature, so high amount of temperature is required to convert the low vapor pressure to 1 atmosphere. That is why when a non-volatile solute is added, then boiling point of this solution is increases. So how much boiling point increases? That is given by elevation in boiling point. So that is finally given by the relation. So this is the relation. T naught is the boiling point of solvent. If it is water, then T naught value is equal to 100 degrees centigrade. Now when a non-volatile solute is added, then it becomes solution. Then boiling point of that solution, either sugar solution or NaCl solution, so T naught is equal to, if it is maybe 50 degrees, 150 degrees, that means boiling point is increases. Now what is the increase in boiling point? So this is solution. Therefore delta TB is equal to 150 minus 100 degrees, that is equal to 50 degrees. So this is nothing but increase in boiling point. So the boiling point of the solution by the adding of sugar is increases. So that increase 50 degrees is known as elevation in boiling point. So this is the formula for elevation in boiling point. So in our next class, again we can conclude that this is a colligative property. So that means again you show that delta TB is directly proportional to number of moles of solute. If delta TB is directly proportional to number of moles of solute, then it is a colligative property. So any colligative property is directly proportional to n, then only it is colligative property. So a property depends on number of moles, then it is nothing but a colligative property. So in our next class, we derived the equation or we derived the relation between delta TB with number of moles. If it is directly proportional to n, then delta TB is a colligative property. If it does not depends on n, then it is not a colligative property. And third one also, so third one is, we derived this relation on tomorrow next class. Just now I am going to explain third property, that is depression in freezing point. Depression in freezing point. So similar relation, so the temperature at which a liquid is converted into solid, that is nothing but freezing point. Therefore, the temperature at which the freezing point of a, or simply the vapor pressure of a liquid is equal to the vapor pressure of the solid, then that temperature is known as freezing point. So freezing point is nothing but the temperature at which the vapor pressure of liquid is equal to vapor pressure of solid, then that temperature is known as freezing point. So similarly, the vapor pressure of solid is nearly equal to 0. Therefore, a pure solvent is always having high freezing point compared to pure solution. Therefore, if suppose T naught is the freezing point of pure solvent and T yes is the freezing point of solution, then which is more? When a non-volatile solute is added to the pure solvent, then its vapor pressure is decreases. That means it becomes equal to 0. So that means so small amount of temperature is required to convert that vapor pressure into vapor pressure of that solid. Therefore, here freezing point of pure solvent, this is always high value. This is always high value because it is having high vapor pressure, whereas Ts, that is vapor pressure of solution. So when a non-volatile solute is added, its vapor pressure is decreases and hence freezing point is also decreases. Therefore, it is low value. Now, depression and freezing point. So depression means decrease in freezing point. That is nothing but deviation or depression in freezing point. So that is equal to, so highest value minus lowest value again. So that is T naught minus Ts. So this is nothing but delta Tf, that is equal to T naught minus Ts. So this is the third colligative property, delta Tf. Depression in freezing point, that is always given by T naught minus Ts, whereas in the second one, that is delta Tb, that is equal to Ts minus T naught. So both are colligative properties and hence both are depends on number of moles of solute. So we can derive tomorrow the relation between delta Tf and number of moles, similarly delta Tb and number of moles. So time is up, stop here today and you can derive in next class. Thank you.